Hi everybody, I'm Lisa. Welcome to Crafting with Mimi. Today's theme is all about birds. I cannot wait to show you all the things that I made and how I made them. So grab a cup of coffee or tea or soda, whatever your preference. Sit back and enjoy the video. Let me know what you think about it in the comments. So let's get started. The first DIY is using this Scorch Marker. The brand name is Scorch Marker. This is an off-brand. I got it off of Amazon, and it kind of mimics when you use a wood burning tool. You can use a stencil or freehand, whatever you want. I got this stencil and the wood round at Walmart, and I'm just using the marker like I would any marker and stencil. You just put your image on wherever and however you want, and then you're going to need a really high-powered heat tool. A regular small crafting heat tool or a blow dryer will not work. You need one that gets super duper hot like this one. I'll put a link in the comments. So what you want to do is just put it on like medium high heat, get the wood heated up a little bit, and then crank it up like I just did. And you have to keep it moving, just like put it right over the marker and keep it moving so you don't burn the wood in places that you don't want to. And as you can see, it's just getting darker and darker and darker, and you can go as dark as you want. And this is the end product. And I was just practicing, but I thought I would share it with you since it fit the theme. But I love this. Let me know what you think about this. And literally the possibilities are endless for this with no smoke. Love that. For DIY number 2, I'm going to use this 8x10 frame, and I'm going to take the whole thing apart. So I take all the things out, the glass and all, and then I pull off those little metal tabs. I'm going to use high temp glue for this, and I'm going to put it around the edge of the frame and put the glass back in. I do go over it with another layer. I got these stickers at Dollar Tree, and here is the bird, so it stays with the theme. I'm just going to arrange these on the front part of the glass the way I want to. And then I'm going to be flipping it over to add some stems. And I'm just using 2 different color green and just putting stems on the way I think they would look cute. I do add a little bit of leaves and everything too, so it makes it more realistic. And when I turn it over, it looks so cool. I add a couple more leaves to the bottom, but then realize this is the front, so I wipe it off. Now I'm taking a little sponge brush and just using different color paints to make a little border. You do not have to do this. I think it looks really cool, but you could totally leave this part out and it's going to look amazing. I'm just going to kind of accent the bird a little bit. Since he's the star of the show and you can't really see him, I'm going to make him pop, and I'm just using a regular black pen for that. Now I'm going to flip it over again using matte Mod Podge. I'm going to dip my finger in it and just start making little swirly pattern. Now I suggest using less Mod Podge than I used here because it will take so long to dry. And once I get the whole thing done, when you turn it over and it dries, it looks so cool. Like not frosted glass, but like privacy glass. I just think it looks so cool. And here's a shot of it without it being in the window so you can see how cool that looks. I love this. I hope you do try this one. It was really easy. For my next DIY, this is a little drawer I got from Hobby Lobby a couple of years ago. I got it for 75% off of that price, and I did get like 10 of them because they were so cheap. This is my last one, so I'm so sad. I got a stick from my yard, and I am going to have the drawer just like that for this project. So I'm just going to take my wire cutters and cut the little stick where I want to so it fits. I have this little bird. I got it at Dollar Tree, and she's very, very glittery. I took off her feather tail, and I'm just using some gray paint to stamp on some paint, and then I take some pink and go over that to make her kind of like blushy, and then I put the tail back on once she's dry. Some of the glitter does still show through, which I want it. And now she looks so pretty still, just not so glittery. Not that glitter's bad, I just don't prefer it. So after that, I go ahead and put her on the stick. I just don't show that part. I have this little piece of scrapbook paper that I'm going to use for the inside of the drawer, and I'm just going to use Mod Podge to put that in. And now I'm putting some hot glue at the bottom with some Spanish moss, and then I'm going to hot glue the stick onto the front of the drawer, just like this. And then I'm going to dress it up a little more using some more Spanish moss and hot glue. And then I'm going to make a messy bow for the top. I am going to tell you where I got this material here in just a second. It's so cool. I've been doing this method for years, 30, 40 probably years with the material. And I'll tell you where I got that in a second. So I just make a messy bow and hot glue it to the top of the drawer. Y'all, that's it for this project. But look how cute it is. Kind of shabby chic, kind of glam, and a little bit of farmhouse. You get it all. I just love this. It looks really good on top of a candle holder, which is what I have it on right now. And that's it for that DIY. For my next DIY, I'm going to use this square piece of wood. I got it at Michael's. It was like $1.15. It was on sale. I'm just stippling on some different greens and then using this truffle colored paint. I'm using it on a wet wipe to go around the edges. And then I'm making a little frame with the same wet wipe just to make it a little more interesting. And then I'm going to use this sticker. And I'm going to paint each one of those a different color. I paint the bird with gray and brown together, and then 2 different color pinks for the flowers. And then I go in with the brown for the stems, and then I put it on the board. I don't show you how I arrange it. You can just see it. For the wing, I just use the same gray, and then I use a little bit of gray to kind of just accent the bird a little bit more. And then I'm going to dress this up a little tiny bit with a little bit of Spanish moss and some greenery. And boy, does that make the biggest difference. You don't have to do this, but it's just what I did. But in the right lighting, look how gorgeous this is. And literally it was like $2.15 plus the greenery and Spanish moss. Isn't this so pretty? I have it on top of another candle holder, but it looks so good. For my final DIY, and this one's so amazing. This is a 12 by 12 shadow box from Dollar Tree, and I painted it already with the truffle colored paint as well as the inside of the frame. I'm using a generous amount of Mod Podge on the outside of the frame. Before it dries, I'm putting on some white chalk paint right on top of it. Then I'm going to hit it with my heat tool, and this makes a little crackle effect, and I love it. I have these 2 pieces of scrapbook paper left over, and I'm just going to rip it into little pieces because I'm going to arrange it around that brown part of the frame, and I'm using Mod Podge to do that. I just spread it out, and you can see little chunks in there because I'm right at the end, but for this it doesn't matter at all. But if you were doing like a napkin, it would. And I'm just making a little collage around the border, inside border of, or outside border of the frame, just like this. I put it in random positions, no real pattern or anything, just like a collage. And I do layer it up a little bit. And as I go, I'm kind of sealing it in with the Mod Podge on top. I end up going all the way around with the Mod Podge to seal it all in. I put that aside to dry. This is another shadow box. I get these in bulk from Amazon. I do a lot of classes and I use these boards a lot. So I have lots and lots of these. I get them, I think they come 8 in a pack, no, 6 in a pack from Amazon. I'll put the link to these. They're very affordable. So I just put a layer of white chalk paint on the outside. I touched it a little bit on the front with brown, and now I'm just sanding it down to weather it. And I'm using some more of that brown to kind of distress that scrapbook paper to make it look old and worn out. It just looked too new, so I needed to do that. I'm attaching the 2 boards with a generous amount of hot glue. Put that right down in the middle. And I've made several of these. These are amazing. I'm using some Mod Podge there and this napkin that you've seen 100 times because I'm obsessed with it. And I'm just tearing it away from the rest of the napkin, one of the panels of that. And 2 of the edges are still straight. So I'm just using the water on the paintbrush method to kind of rip it apart to make it like that feathery effect. And once I separate the plies, I put it right down in the middle of that board. I ripped the tail, but I'm just putting it back on, no big deal. And I just tap it down with my fingers to smooth it out as much as I can. And then I go over the top with some Mod Podge to seal it in. I mixed pink and orange together to make a peachy color to just accent that inside frame to make the napkin pop. And then y'all, I printed this out on just some paper from my computer. I just went into Word and created that little saying. And I'm going to Mod Podge that onto a piece of material that I ripped. And now I'm just weathering it with some brown paint. And I'm going to Mod Podge that to the front of the frame, just like that. And now, guys, here's where I got the material from. I've been doing this since my 20s when these rugs were very popular. Once I got tired of it, I would wash it and then just pull it apart, just like this, for the material for my crafting. It saved me a lot of money and gave me a whole bunch of material to use. You just snip the strings that hold it in, and that's it. I made a messy bow and put it up on the corner, and now I'm making a little fabric rosette. I've been making these for as long as I've been using the rug. So you just twirl it in a circle and then glue it down. That's it. Look how pretty that is, though. And you can mix the colors together and everything. I put the rosette down, but I decided that this needed some tails. So I added some tails and then put the rosette back in place. And that's it. That's it for this project and for the video. That's all I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you were inspired. And I hope that you will create your own. Give this video a big thumbs up if you enjoyed it. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Thank you guys so much for your support day in and day out. I really appreciate you. Come back soon. I have lots more ideas. Have an awesome rest of your day, and I will see you next time. Bye.